Hi, I'm Eric Ratinoff, and I'm a lawyer in Sacramento, California, who represents people who have suffered traumatic brain injury. So we wanted to take some time to put together some video podcasts to help dispel some of the myths, to educate parents and student athletes, as well as coaches, about what are some of the things to look for and some of the things that we all need to know to understand brain injury in our students and our athletes and in the adult population as well. Let's take a few minutes to talk about the symptoms of a concussion. Now, concussion is viewed as a form of mild traumatic brain injury. And for those of you who have watched our other video podcasts, you've heard me say on more than one occasion that there really is no such thing as a mild traumatic brain injury. There's traumatic brain injury, and there's nothing ever mild about it. And as we go through these podcasts, you're going to learn why, because even the smallest brain injury can have huge consequences for the person who's suffering from brain injury. So concussion typically involves, in terms of how it's historically been viewed, loss of consciousness for less than 30 minutes. Now, don't be fooled though by a requirement that there be a loss of consciousness, and don't fall under the mistaken assumption that just because there wasn't a noted loss of consciousness that there isn't a concussion. But when concussion is viewed as loss of consciousness less than 30 minutes, all that is doing is identifying that there's a differentiation between the categorization of certain brain injuries where the loss of consciousness was less than 30 minutes versus more than 30 minutes. The other thing that needs to be noted is it's not just loss of consciousness, it is also level of consciousness. So if there's a decreased level of consciousness, in other words, the person seems kind of dazed or out of it, that counts as well. We often hear, especially in the sports context, that we'll say, wow, I got my bell rung, or that was a bell ringer. Something where somebody clearly had a hit to the head, a blow, and they are describing it as a bell ringer. That is definitely a sign that there may be a concussion. The other thing that you want to look for is, does the person who suffered the head injury have a loss of memory of events within the last 24 hours? So you question them. What did you have for breakfast? What did you have for lunch? What's been going on earlier today or late yesterday? You want to ask whether or not there was a loss of memory of events leading to the injury. So the immediately preceding moments before the injury. The next thing that's important to know is the person behaving differently? Is the person having trouble communicating, having trouble understanding, having trouble being understood? Those are things that you want to inquire into and get a sense of with anyone who you believe may have had a blow to the head. Then the next sign that you want to be aware of, are there continuing headaches? First, is there a headache early on? And even whether or not there is a headache early on, are there headaches that develop, and are they continuing, and are they not responding well to treatment or medication? Why are those headaches there? What's going on? When that occurs, you definitely need to seek medical attention. Additionally, you want to look for signs of nausea. Do they have an upset stomach? Fatigue? Do they seem more tired or drowsy than usual? Are they kind of dragging their feet? Are there behavioral changes in terms of their sleep pattern, in terms of personality? All of those things are things that you want to look out for. Additionally, blurred vision. Are they complaining of blurred vision? Is there a sensitivity to light? In other words, is light bothering them? Either light or dark. Moving from the eyes to the ears, do they have sensitivity to noise? Or do they have difficulty hearing? Do they have ringing in their ears? Additionally, is there any numbness, either in the hands or the arms, in the face? Is there tingling? Is there any seizure activity? Do you see shaking of any part of the body that is unusual. Then there are some signs that you may or may not be able to determine on your own, but you may have a sense of them. So for example, attention and concentration. Does it seem like your child is having a greater difficulty with attention or concentrating in school or on simple tasks at home? Judgment and executive control. Does your child who previously expressed and demonstrated a certain degree of judgment in his or her actions, is there change in that? Are they behaving in ways that are showing a lack of judgment that is inconsistent or unusual for them? And another important set of signs that parents can be very attuned to are emotional changes in their child. Does your child seem depressed? Does your child seem bothered by things that typically don't bother him or her? Is there anxiety? Is your child irritable or angry? Little things that used to just sort of roll off his or her back, are they getting under their skin? Are they setting them off, or are they reacting in a negative way, whereas previously they might act in a positive or neutral way? Are they lashing out? Are they more combative with you? These are all signs that there may be a concussion or a brain injury. In fact, for all of these signs, if there is ever a question that there may be a concussion, you should always seek medical attention.